Well, we're here at the shop. Came over here to check water lines. It's supposed to be like -10 for the next week or so, so had to turn on the heat in the front for the bathroom. Figured while I was here, the welding rod finally came in for trying to weld up this crack. So I'm just now starting to clean it. I was just trying to see how far the crack went, and it goes just past where I had drilled that hole. So I'm gonna chamfer this out, and then we'll see how this welding rod welds with. Give it a shot. We'll bevel it and try to clean it up. And I've got a torpedo heater, and we'll try to get the block heated up to, I don't know, probably 400 degrees or so, and hopefully we don't end up burning out the freeze plugs that are all glued in this thing. But I don't know. We're gonna give it a shot. I've been waiting on the lock and stitch. I think I placed an order for their kit to do this stuff in September, and it is now January, and they're still every time I call them, they're 3 or 5 weeks out still. So only thing I can say is it's just a water jacket. As long as it holds coolant inside the engine, then I guess that's all I care about. And it doesn't re-crack whenever I go and torque the head down. But I got a junk block now, so what's the worst that can happen? You know, I'll end up with a junk block if I weld it and it cracks out like a spider web. But oh well. Then we'll I got a couple 4.0 blocks. We'll put that in this old Jeep, get rid of the carburetor crap, and make it cool. Or I've got a couple V8 stuff sitting around. That'd be cooler, wouldn't it? We'll get at her. Like a bunch of smudges. Also wanted to point out, sorry for the dumb look into the camera, I'm trying to clean a bunch of smudges off. Anyway, we got this all ground out. Didn't take long. Looked like that crack, I don't know if you can see it or not. Anyway, you can't see it in the camera, but the crack stops about right there where that hole is. So I beveled just past it. And we're going to start preheating this. And like I said, the spec sheet, text sheet on this welding rod says you don't need to preheat it at all, and I think that's a big load of bullshit. So we're gonna try to get it heated up, get the whole block as even as possible. I'm not gonna put heat directly onto it. I'll set like I said, I got a little propane torpedo heater, and I'll set it back a little ways, and if I can do this without, and I've got power steering hoses in the way, I got all sorts of stuff in the way, so I don't want to have it all on camera when I burn this building down. So we'll give her a shot. I don't know. Well, we got our little heat dragon going, warming her up. block is, it's pretty consistent, about 200 degrees right now. While we're gonna do that, while we're waiting, I'm probably gonna let it heat up for about an hour or so. I won't need to address getting all these gasket surfaces cleaned back up on the head. Boy, there's part of me that just wants to open these exhaust ports up, but I know if I do, I'm probably gonna run into something bad. But and I don't need to get into anything big. It's just an old Jeep. It's not a powerhouse. It's not a rocket ship. When I put it, damn it, this heater keeps blowing out, the old thermocoupler, and something's bad. Once I'm getting ready to weld, I'm going to use the old weed burner and just give her a good heat, and then we'll weld, you know, 1/4 inch at a time. Use the needle gun, peen it, and then we'll heat it. I'll kind of set over there. We'll count how many snaps and pops we hear, but I don't know what I was getting ready to say. Yeah, I'm gonna clean up all this. One of the valves, yeah, she's bad. I may pull that valve out, put a new valve, whatever you want to call that, valve guide seal, valve seal, something like that. And then we need to test that welding rod on just some plate steel and see how it works. Wish I had a piece of cast iron something sitting around that was broken to practice on. That was inside my shop because I don't feel like going and digging through outside in the blizzard. So anyway, I'm gonna walk around lost, talk to myself for a while. It's getting really hot inside this shop because my big furnace is something in the circuit board's messed up, so it don't shut off, it just keeps running, so I gotta manually turn it on and off. It's getting warm, but anyway, this is life inside my head, lost most of the time. Kind of feels weird just setting fire to a brand new engine, you know. Maybe the lesson will be don't over torque head bolts. That'd be a good one. That way you don't take a brand new, freshly machined engine and throw $1,000 worth of new parts into it and break it. For about 350-ish degrees, I'm going to give it just a little bit more heat, and I'm going to start down where the water pump goes, weld that, and then jump to the top side, weld a little bit, kind of go back and forth. I think that'll be the best. That way we don't get too much heat in one spot. I think, hell, I don't know. This may not even work. I think it's hot enough. Find out. Real shortly. Cross your fingers, say a prayer. Stuff is bizarre how it welds up. Like, it's not just like a normal rod. It's like, it's weird. Probably have to cover something before I burn the top of my pistons, huh? Think? Well, if that did it, that was pretty quick and halfway painless. Listen to a big crack here in just a second. Ruin it all. But even after that, and giving it the heat, we're at 475 degrees. You know, I can't wait to put this on YouTube and get roasted for being a hack. Oh, that's not how you should do it. You ruined that engine. It's my engine. My shop. And it's my dog. All that fine grinding dust and stuff down in these cylinders will just be alright. We'll all be okay. Well, we had gotten the head put back on it and I fired it up, but I had forgotten that the rear main seal, the rear main on this thing leaked real bad. So she left me a pretty good puddle in the short time that I ran it. So we're getting ready to pull this pan off and we'll see. So there shouldn't be anything exciting inside the motor. Or I'm hoping not, because it is fairly fresh. So, but just in case that there's like crazy carnage, that I'll leave the camera running. We're gonna get all this gasket stuff cleaned up and go ahead and get this rear main seal pulled off. So under operating conditions, it's just leaking oil out the back side of this bad. So it's got to be a rear main seal. So everything, I mean, it's holding at idle. It's holding 70. A little over 70 psi on oil pressure, so it's nothing major, but it'll be major if I don't get it. So it sucks. I don't know what I did wrong, but I must have nicked one of the seals whenever I dropped the crankshaft in it. So we'll get this cleaned up, and then I'll get you and show you how to roll a new seal in there. All right, I'm gonna try to do this. It probably won't work, but I'll just kind of explain it, because I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this one-handed. So anyway, you can see the rear main seal. You use a punch, and on that back slot, you can start it out, and then you use another, use the new seal, get it started. Anyway, you get it started, and then you can work this new seal around, and it pushes out the old seal. So I can't do it one-handed. All right, just a couple seconds later, and I got the new one in. This was the issue. So if you can see, there's a little gap there. This gap is supposed to face the crankshaft like this. I had it flipped around. So whenever the mains are pressurized here, it gets into that little gap, it expands that and seals it. So I had the top one in put backwards. Is what it is. I mess up, so at least it's fixed. It's nothing catastrophic. We'll get this slapped together and hopefully have her fired back up if I've got enough oil to put back in it. So, but from running, torn down, probably back to running, and be about a half an hour on this thing. So it's moving quickly. Well, we're back at it on this Jeep. Got the oil pan on. Got this monstrosity of a header wrapped around through here. Last night, while I was waiting on RTV and sealer to set up for the oil pan gasket to hold up, I went ahead and got this for a tailpipe all put together. And I just had some pre-bin stuff sitting around, so this will be the first vehicle I've ever actually built a full exhaust on. Normally it's just a straight piece of pipe and a dump right at the exhaust, or at the axle. So, and we'll lower her down, add some oil, see if it'll fire, which it should, I hope, unless something else is wrong, and make sure that it doesn't leak any oil. I do. I know what I'm doing. I'm a trained professional. Trained in something. Trained in really making a mess out of a lot of things.